ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தோப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோர் தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு. Today, Tirupavai is called 13th Tirupavai, starts with the word Pullinvai Kindani. It should be sung in what we call Athana tune, Athana raga. Pullinvai Kindani. So that is the beginning word. So we can also say the same way, imitate Rajagopala Swami, who is yet to come. Shirondru Topul Tiruvengadamudaiyan. So we can sing the Tamil songs also, Sanskrit shlokas also in the Athana. It's a very good, what we call, appreciated by public. Can see a whole is like, okay. Right, so you can take the text. So we saw the Padma Samhita. Very simple to say the names of Siddhantas, the how to perform, for Samprokshanam, how to start with it, and then how to end it, and so on. So atra, the last paragraph in this page. So atra padmokta tantra tantrantara lakshanam paushkarokta avirodhena netam. Now, whatever samhita we take up for Pancaratra study, we must make sure that whether it is Padma Samhita or any other Samhita, Tantra and Tantrantara definition, the definition of the procedure as well as their subdivisions, so should not antagonize or should not be opposed to Paushkara Samhita. So Paushkara Samhita is supposed to be the basics, you can say, fundamental theory, which should not be refuted by any other Samhita. Here it is given as Padma. Padma Samhita also should not be opposed to the Paushkara Samhita. So it should be in tune with the Paushkara Samhita. Netavyam, it must be done. So we must lead ourselves without any negativity over Paushkara Samhita. So yadi dvayoho grantayoho aikartyam sambhavati tadana virodha. suppose we can combine these two into one meaning or one purpose, you can say. So, yadi if, that means suppose. So, dvayoho, between the two, granthayoho, these books, namely Padma and Paushkara. So, aikartyam sambhavati, if only single meaning occurs, then tadana virodha. Then there will be no enmity between the two, and there will be no flaw in our dealing, in our deal, you can say. So, itaratha, tantra tantrantara lakshanam. Otherwise, itaratha meaning otherwise. So, tantra tantrantara lakshanam. So, again, in the procedural process, tantra and tantrantara. So, the definition of tantra siddhanta and tantrantara siddhanta, we are going to talk about it. So, here number 2 is given. Itara tantreshu. Itara tantreshu meaning, so in Pancaratra tradition, there are so many other books. So in Ishvara Samhita, Parameshwara Samhita, and so on. Some people take Ahirbuddhini Samhita as temple agama. I don't know whether it is right. So Itara tantreshu, abhyugama siddhanta tantra tantrantara rakshanam. So we must again take it along with the Paushkara Samhita and the tantras that we get from other books, other traditions under Pancaratra should be acceptable, commonly acceptable. That's the meaning. So we go to the next page. 12, page 12. So, Dviprakaram Anusandhe. So, when we take up other tantras and combine the tantra and tantrantara siddhanta from Paushkara Samhita, there are two types of approach. Dviprakaram, dvi means two, prakaram you can say here method or approach. Anusandheyam must be followed. We must think of two approaches, you can say. Yatha nyaya vistare sarvatantra pratitantra abhyabhagama adhara siddhanteshu abhyabhagama siddhantasya dvedha lakshanam akshapada abhipretam varnayanti. Narayana directly and the oldest to Lord Brahma, Lord Creator, right? Even a single letter makes a difference, lot of difference. I thought somebody else. Niryana there is another name called Niryana. So, Yatha Nyaya Vistare. So, there's a book called Nyaya Vistara. That all we can say a logic. It's a darshanam. It's a philosophy based on scriptures. So, while we deal it logically, while we deal all the tantras logically, in the explanation of logic, Nyaya, Sarva Tantra, Pratitantra, you take all tantras and you can take the opposite tantras also, opposition tantras also. There are some oppositions. Then Abhyupagama Adhara Siddhanteshu. Fundamentally, when they are accepted as one, then Abhyupagama Siddhantasya, again, the accepted common Siddhanta will be in two ways, will be treated in two ways. Dvedha. So it has been defined in two ways. Lakshanam, Dvedha Lakshanam. So two types of definitions. Who said it? Akshapada. Akshapada is name of the author. So Akshapada said, it is his opinion that a common Siddhanta combining all the tantras, tantrantaras in all traditions. Akshapada's opinion is to be taken, and now we are going to look at the detailed definition of two types of common siddhanta, commonly acceptable siddhanta. He says, Akshapada says, Sadhitaha paratantre yaha swatantre cha samashritaha sahi abhyapagamaha nyaye manasaha anumatihi yatha. Now, when we say paratantra meaning tantras other than Paushkara. You can also add Padma. If it is Padma, it can be called Paratantra. Padma Samhita can be called Paratantra. And that means some other procedures. So, Sadhitaha, they have been achieved. That's what it says, Sadhitaha. Meaning, whatever is given as conclusion in the opposed tantras, that is the tantras outside our purview. So yaha, that swatantrecha samashritaha. So if it is agrees with our own tantra, then that is called abhyabhagamaha. It is called in nyaya, logic. So abhyabhagamaha, acceptance. Sahi, that indeed, so that which is common to both our own tantras and the others tantras, different tantras, then logically it is acceptable. So an example is there, an analogy is there. So how? Manasaha anumati. Your mind should allow it. So your mind will feel the commonness or the oneness of these traditions. So when your mind says yes, then you accept it. Why mind? Is not human mind likely to err? Generally we say mind is purer than heart, and therefore heart may work differently, but mind will always, a good mind, we are talking of good mind. We are not talking of a bad mind. It is not a RI thinking, AWRY. Our thought does not run helter-skelter. I mean, we have to control our mind and find out. So generally it is called in Sanskrit, Manayeva Manushyanam Bandhanam, Karanam Bandha Mokshayo. Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandha Mokshayo. So whether we feel free in this world or rather fettered in this world, FETTERET. When we are chained in this world, we are controlled in this world, our mind feels either happy or unhappy. So our mind is our guide. One example I wanted to give you, Dushyanta, a king, comes to the forest for hunting, and he follows a deer, chases a deer. The deer enters into the hermitage of a sage called Kashyapa, otherwise called Kanva, and there he meets a girl called Shakuntala. And Shakuntala is a foster daughter, Foster, foster daughter of the sage. And initially, Dushyanta king suspects the fidelity of the one called chastity of the sage. And then it was love at first sight. Dushyanta loves at first sight on seeing the girl Shakuntala. And he says, his mind tells him that she must be a royal family girl. And later on, they understand that Shakuntala was the daughter of King Vishwamitra. Of course, the mother was the celestial nymph called Menaka. And to both of them, the girl was born. And therefore, he says he will not enter into a wedlock from another varna, another caste of the society. As a king, he must only marry a member of the royal family. So he says that he will not love, he will not even love a girl from other varnas, other castes. Of course, Manusmriti says lower the caste, the higher caste can get married with the lower caste, but not this way. A lower caste man cannot marry a girl from the higher caste. We say higher and lower. That is, of course, that is different. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And there are some concessions to all these varnas. So why is it? Our mind is the scale, rather the criterion for deciding the acceptance of the tantras among the Pancaratra traditions. So tad vishesha parikshava sadbhave anyatra sadhite yatha anyatra manasiddhau tasya akshatva parikshanam. Now we can put it to test. So there'll be a special extraordinary examination for establishing the differences between the traditions. And when we find it as a good tradition, sadbhave, so tad vishesha pariksha, a test of the difference between them, tat, that, so that means the traditions. Or instead of keeping your mind judgment as the final judgment, you can also put to test. So sadbhave anyatra sadhite, if there is a source where the goodness of the tradition has been established, then anyatra means elsewhere, sadhite established. So then yatha, the same way, ya anyatra manasiddho, again you apply your mind there. Whether your mind is accepting the goodness of the common tradition, then tasya akshatva parikshanam. So there is no need for such a test. Even there you apply your mind and understand that there is no need of further test. So iti. Then, so now we get into the Srirangam Samhita, Parameshwara Oktam. Parameshwara Samhita is the Srirangam temple Samhita under the Pancaratra tradition. Again, Parameshwara, as it means, as you understand commonly, it is said by Lord Shiva. Of course, Parameshwara also means Lord Sriman Narayana. Srigarbha Parameshwaraha, Vishnu Sahasranamam says, as one of the names. But generally, in Sanskrit parlance, if you say Ishvara, though it means only Lord, it means leadership. Aishwaryam is leadership. We can point out to any god like Brahma, Indra, and so on. Ishvaraha. Especially Lord Shiva. It's a connotation. But here, as Vaishnavas, we will take it up as Sriman Narayana tradition. So Parameshwara Uktam is especially Lord Shiva's statement. And again, see, broad-mindedly, we can accept Parameshwara as Lord Shiva. But phonetically, we can say it is Sriman Narayana. And again, what you call the authority, the spirit of authority lies in Others saying that Sriman Narayana is the supreme deity. We used to say in our Sanskrit field, if an engineer, if a doctor, if an auditor, and so on, when they are not connected with Sanskrit deeply, when they say Sanskrit is a good language, we will accept it more. If it is said by Sanskrit professors and Sanskrit teachers and Sanskrit scholars, then it cannot be accepted so easily. So when people of other fields feel the same, that is, they say Sanskrit is the greatest language, then, so in the same way here, so Tantra, Tantrantara Lakshanam, Parameshwaroktam too. If the Tantra Lakshanam, the definition of Tantra and definition of Tantrantara, that means other Tantras, as said in Parameshwara Samhita, then Paushkaroktayana Samanam. Fortunately, the word fortunately is not there, but fortunately they are one and the same. Namely, Paushkara Samhita is equal, exactly congruent to Parameshwara Samhita. Again, there is a footnote. If it is useful, we can see the number 4. Otherwise, right. So, Paushkarokta Samanam, same thing is there. But some bijaksharas are there, some extra letters are there. We must try to understand why there are some letters. Samahita, footnote Samahita, Ja is there. Nyayaha, Ka and Ja is there. Siddham again, Ka and Ja. Paushkarokta Samanam, Ja and Ja. And we don't know how. Maybe there is another what we call maybe referring to other manuscripts, right? So that's what I say. Some reference to as we put asterisk mark, it may refer to some other source. Okay. So let us go to the verse. Okay, the previous sentence, the paragraph is not complete. So tatahi means, for example, for illustration, prayaschitta, what is that? A little more bigger fonts. Okay. Prayaschitta Adhyaye. Okay. Prayaschitta Adhyaye, in the chapter called expiation, that is remedial chapter for remedy. We saw in the earlier page, in the what you call in Padma Samhita, we said that it was said that when there is a mistake occurring in the puja, etc., then samprokshanam must be done. The anointment must be done, and abhisheka must be done, and therefore, so that chapter deals with what should be done as purificatory rites, RITES, for the mishap or even what we call the idol of the Lord when it is chiseled for no reason. What you call binnam, we say. So some part of the idol is broken. And then samprokshanam must be done, and the idol must be again sculpted perfectly. Now, so in this tradition, in this chapter of remedy, so Sankaradi dosha pariharatham. So in order to avoid the mistake, error that will occur by mixture of the traditions, vibhajyamaneshu siddhanteshu, in the various siddhantas, like as we saw mantra siddhanta, then tantra siddhanta, and so on. So agama siddhanta, agama, mantra siddhanta, prapanchana, anantaram uchyate. So we are going to see later only what will be the right, agama tantra prapanchananantaram uchyate. what should be done in order to rectify the mistake will be dealt with later. Later, in the sense, after we now see the detailed explanation of Agama Mantra Siddhanta. We are going to see two Siddhantas here, Mantra Siddhanta and Agama Siddhanta. And so we are going to see these two now. Then Paravyuhadi Bhedene Vina Ekaikena Murtina Sangena Kevalena Tha Kanta Vyuhena Bhushani. Now you will feel the repetition of the ideas which we saw in Padma Samhita just in the previous page. Don't bother. It will be a repetition. We can see very fast also. It's very convenient to see run fast. So Paravyuhadi Bhedena. So as we have the forms in the Lord, namely highest form Para, Vasudeva, Vyuha, the four names, and then Adi, etc., Bhedena by the difference. Vina Ekaikena Murtina. We saw in the previous Padma Samhita also that there will be separate idols for all the different forms. We cannot have one form for all the forms. One figure, one idol for all the forms. So Pararupa is there, Vyuharupa is again four types. Vibhava is endless in variety. Antaryami also is endless in variety in our mind. And Archavatara, of course, at least are limited to certain imaginations of the human being. I wanted to tell you the curious fact that when we take the Vinayaka idol, the son of Lord Shiva, now there are umpteen, rather unlimited, infinite number of different forms of Vinayaka. And they make hay, and they actually feel joy about making Vinayaka in different forms. It is not, it may not be allowed in the Shastras. And of course, we have the scriptures, Ganapati Atharva Shirshakam is there. It may be accepted. Even in our Sampradaya, we would have seen 5 faces. 5 faces. Some temples have. It includes Hanuman, Garuda, something like that, and then we have 5 faces. I think I forgot the name for the temple. It is in Pudukkottai, in so many other places also. And scholars, ancient people also seem to accept such 5-faced Lord in different forms. Now here again the same idea is repeated. So it will have all limbs, Panchamukhi Hanuman, right? Panchamukhi Hanuman. We don't know how it is accepted. Where in what tradition? Pancaratra or Vaikhanasa or some other. Some people say, some scholars accept it. Ashtamukha Gandha Verunda, right? Yeah, I was referring to Panchamukhi Hanuman. So Sangena Kevalena Atha. So when the idols are there with all limbs in the sense natural limbs and extra limbs also. Kanta Vyuhena Bhushanehi. Again, they will be always surrounded by the beloveds. So Kanta Vyuhena. So even the Navagrahas, the 9 planets, Navagraha, 9 planets. In a particular temple in a village near Tiruchirappalli, that is Srirangam, we have generally in the temples of Shiva, we will find only 9 planets, Navagrahas. Whereas in that particular temple in a village, I can, I think, quote the name of the village also, we have wives of those planets in the temple itself, along with the lords, along with the planets. Wives. So if you want to read Bhagavatam, strictly follow it, then you have to have 8 wives of Lord Krishna as main queens. and then 16,000. So Kanta Vyuhena Bhushanehi, associated with the what we call bevy of goddesses, beloveds, and then Bhushanehi, with the ornaments. So the ornaments include weapons and other paraphernalia. So that again, in next line says, Tatha, in the same way, Astraihi, so weapons, missiles, Vigraha Upetaihi, associated with the idols, Avrutam, surrounded. So that will be what we call the nomenclature we say, Samnitam, Tantra Samnitam. So Tantra will always recommend such type of idols with all necessary accessories. So Nrsimha, Kapila, Kroda, Hamsa, Vagishwaradaya. Now we will have names of the Lord in this line. Nrsimha is popular. Kapila is a sage who founded the system of philosophy called Sankhya. He is an incarnation of Lord Shiman Narayana. And Kapila, and then Kroda. Kroda refers to Narasimha. Out of the 9 types of Narasimha in Ahobilam in India, in Andhra Pradesh, you will find Kroda Narasimha. Kroda, I think I will be subject to correction. It tells you the protruding teeth of the lion. I must be corrected. Then Hamsa Avataram, Lord incarnated as swan. Then Vagishwara. Vagishwara is simply Hayagriva. Horse-necked god. He is otherwise called Varaha Narasimha, right? That's why I said, so teeth of the boar, B-O-A-R. So, yeah, so tusks, right? The teeth only are called tusks. In Sanskrit, there is only one word for teeth or tusk, danta, danta. Some, 2 tusks for the elephant will be protruding out. And in the mouth also there are teeth in the elephant. But whereas for the, elephant have tusks, right? So only for the male elephant you have tusks. I don't know about the female boar or is there a difference between female and male boar? Okay. So Vagishwaradeha Hayagriva. Vagishwara is Hayagriva. Vak Ishwara. Vak is speech. Okay. And everywhere males have got a lot of decorations. For example, peacock has a long feather. Plumage we have, plumage. Whereas we don't have for the female species. The lion has got manes. Male lion has got manes. So a lioness does not have so much manes. The lot of hair. Then so here Adaya, etc. So according to the idol of the special incarnation of the Lord, we will have the weapons associating goddesses and so on. Mukhya adi vritti bhedena kevala va anga samyutaha. Again, by the differences over the performance of actions of the important incarnations. When we say important incarnations, others are not unimportant, but more important incarnations are 3, because we have got Charama Shloka of each incarnation. Each of the 3 incarnations, namely Varaha Avatara, the incarnation as boar, the incarnation as Rama, the incarnation as a human being, and the incarnation as Lord Krishna as a god. So all the 3 incarnations have got what you call Charama Shloka, a special verse which tells us the attitude of the Lord. Then Chakradi Astravaraihi cha Atha. So everywhere there is also a special array of weapons. Chakra, the wheel is there, disc is there. Adi, etc. Astra Varaihi. There are better weapons. Vara is better. There are better weapons, or you can say different best weapons. So Atra Varaihi, Cha, Atha, Cha and Atha, then Bhushanaihi Makutadibi. So ornaments, jewels includes the crown. Kirita, Mukutadibihi. Makuta is Kirita, Makuta. Then Kanta Ganehi cha. So along with the Zinana, along with the what you call harem, Harem, Zena, of the goddesses attached. So Kanta Ganehi, Kanta lovers, they are not simply wives. So lovers, Lakshmiadyehi. For example, for Lord Krishna, we have an imaginary character called Radha. And Radha is equated to Nappinnai in Tamil. And Nappinnai is again, as Keshavdas Swami wants it to be Neela Devi. Neela Devi is Nappinnai. Neela is called the goddess of grains, according to me. Goddess of grains. Goddess of earth is Bhuma Devi, goddess of grains. It is not enough that we have a field barren, a barren field. So you must have a field with rich crops. So Leela Devi is responsible. So Lakshmi Adyehi, so starting with the goddess of fortune, Parivaraihi with the families, Khagadivihi. So Garuda is included for Sriman Narayana, and each god or goddess will have a carrier, vehicle, a bird, generally a bird. Or, for example, Brahma has got the swan as his carrier, Hamsavahana. And I think, I don't know, of course, Shiva, Lord Shiva has got a bull as, Ganga as crocodile, okay. The Saturn, the planet Saturn has got a crow as the, and some god has got the deer, D-E-E-R as his vehicle. Then so many other, there are so many varieties. Kamadeva has parrot. Oh, I have not heard so. Kamadeva has parrot, he says. Okay. Murugan, of course, peacock. Peacock is for Kartikeya. So, Pujita Vidhina. So, by the worship done according to the definition, according to the rule, yatra where, tatra, tatra meaning that, tantra antaram iritam. So, the tantrantara will give you more details. And basically, it will not differ. If it differs, some common explanation must be understood, and then we must adopt that procedure. Because Tantra is procedure. Any other Tantra must say all these additions. It's very simple to go through repeated ideas. So we will go to the next page. Well, welcome to Govindadas Swami. As I am ready to answer your questions of yesterday, I will come to you. About Chenchulakshmi. So I think, can we go to the next page for at least 1 or 2 lines? Yes. Yeah. We will take up the first paragraph in page 13. So, Tat, therefore, evam this way, in this manner, Vyavastiteshu Siddhanteshu, when the Siddhantas are, that is what we call the conclusions are established, Sankara Pariharaha Padme Spashtaha. In Padma Samhita, Spashtaha is very clear. Sankara Pariharaha, remedy for the mixture, remedy for the wrong combination. Please understand Sankara meaning a wrong combination. If it is a happy blend, there is no problem. So Sankara always means a problematic combination. I was telling you an example from literature, from Abhijnana Shakuntalam and based on Mahabharata story. So Dushyanta loved at first sight Shakuntala, the girl, from the forest, and for that we have what we call a word mentioning about the prohibition, a ban on mixture in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Strishu dushtasu varshneya jayate varna sankaraha. So if the girls are unchaste, we can say, we not say wicked or bad. So if they are unchaste, if the girls are unchaste, strishu, if the women are unchaste, then that is they are promiscuous. And when they are promiscuous, so varna sankaraha jayate. The caste mix is produced. The caste mix, varna sankaraha. So there will be what we call combinations of boy and girl from any caste to any caste among the four varnas. So that is called sankara. It is also sankataha, he says. In the first chapter, there is a chain of bad reactions resulting out of the marriage between two human beings from different varnas. So, Strishu Dushtasu Varshneya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. He very seriously, Bhagavad Gita says, Vyasa says, Lord Sriman Narayana says, Lord Krishna says, Sankaro Narakaya. The mixture will lead the couple to hell. So, Sankaro Narakaya. So here, so Tasmin Eva Adhyacha Adhyaye. So in the same chapter of what you call Parihara Adhyaye, Prayaschita Adhyaye, Kochit somewhere, Siddhante in the conclusion, Tad Avantara Tantra Bhede, in the divisions of Tantras in their subdivisions, Avantara is subdivision. So Dikshitasya Siddhantaroktasu. So we must find out who is that Dikshita. So Dikshita is a name of a person, particular person, but generally Dikshita meaning initiated person who is eligible to perform sacrifices. He is called Dikshita generally. And we can also say that a person who has taken up a vow, Diksha is a vow. So Dikshita meaning eligible person who can perform the worship of God in temples, according to Pancaratra tradition. This must be a particular name of a person. So Dikshitasya Siddhantara Uktasu, Tantrantara Uktasu cha Kriyasu Anadhikaraha Uktaha. In the Prayaschita Adhyaye, in the remedial chapter, there are actions mentioned in Siddhantara, namely other Siddhantas, apart from these four, Mantra, Agama, Tantra, Tantrantara. So outside these four, if you find any Siddhanta, and again Tantrantara. So among in one of the four divisions of the Siddhanta, Tantra Siddhanta is one of the three, one of the four. And when in that Tantra Siddhanta has got separate editions, different editions, then these actions should not be performed unless and otherwise a person is initiated. So if he doesn't understand, even an initiated person, if he doesn't understand these traditions and mixture and how to perform the expiatory action and so on, then he has no right to do it. So anadhikaraha ukta. Now, then again, we are going to see who is the Dikshita, definition of a Dikshita.
रामानुजतया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम् कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः वादिद्विपशिरोभङ्ग पञ्चाननपरक्रमः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यश्चिरं विजयतां भुवि
சீரொன்று தூப்பல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியில் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளம் வாழ்வு.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய.